In this video, I'll be taking a morning walk to the Phu My Hung neighborhood in District 7, Ho Chi Minh City.
Looks like a part of Los Angeles to me.
It's not only home to the Crescent Mall, but also to many expats and wealthy Vietnamese.
A lot of Korean people in this neighborhood as well. Great Korean barbecue joints. There's a plus.
With parks,
The Lotus Flower Garden.
lakes,
Crescent Lake. It's a man-made lake.
and pedestrian walkways.
The only bridge I know of just for walking and biking.
It's considered a model for urban planning in Vietnam.
25 minutes from downtown, but it's worth it for a little bit of peace and quiet. Good morning, Vietnam. Like most days here in District 7 in Saigon and Ho Chi Minh City, I wake to the sound of roosters and motorbikes. We are just underneath a freeway, walking along a service road. I am up for a morning walk. It is 6 a.m. and this month anyway, I am doing what I call social, physical, and financial sobriety. Every year or twice a year, I take a month and cut out the drinking, spending, and hanging out. Obviously, the physical sobriety means no drinking. The financial sobriety is not spending a ton of money. And the social sobriety is the key to it all. It's just not going out and not hanging out where all the drinking and spending money gets done. So instead of being out until 6 in the morning in Ho Chi Minh, I am up at 6 in the morning in Ho Chi Minh. And my morning walk here in District 7 is from my apartment building to a place called the Crescent Mall and Crescent Lake and the Starlight Bridge. And it is about a 20 or 30 minute walk. And we just crossed over the Ca Cam River. District 7 is a sort of suburb, I guess you would call it, in Ho Chi Minh. It is populated with about 250,000 people, and it is 36 square kilometers. So that's fairly dense, a fairly dense population. But as you'll see, this planned community, this planned neighborhood that we're walking to is a little more spread out. And it is considered a model urban development here in Vietnam. It's got the Crescent Mall, which is about 1.2 million square feet. Has a couple hundred stores, a cinema, a climbing wall, and probably 20 coffee shops. As you'll see, coffee shops are extremely popular here. And no chickens. No wild hens and roosters running around near the Crescent Mall. But near my apartment building, which is in an older part of the city, not a planned community development, there are plenty of roosters to wake you up in the morning. Something that's part of the culture here in Vietnam. People in the countryside, households typically keep their own chickens, hens and roosters for their own eggs and poultry. And I would get mad at those roosters that wake me up just outside of my apartment building every morning. But many of them will soon face the hatchet and be hanging by their necks in the street food stand just out in front within due time. So if I want my revenge, I'll go have them for lunch. Let's take a look at this sort of mini metropolis that we're walking towards. You see the area that we left was a little more dirty and industrial. We are coming up on this planned community that I was talking about. And it is called Phu My Hung Planned City. And like I said, it's considered the model in urban area development here in Vietnam. Many people have asked me in comments, and friends of mine have asked if this city is like 24 hours, and it really is, because you can find people out, not so much in this part of the city, not so much in District 7, but certainly in District 1 in downtown. You'll find people out and street food vendors out until about 4 in the morning. And then at 5 in the morning, new street vendors appear selling noodles for breakfast, or selling banh mi, or selling coffee. And the motorbike traffic picks up again with people going to work. That guy we just passed who was taking a leak behind the tree, basically aiming it at me. I don't think he expected to see me coming, not with a video camera at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is the Phu My Hung planned development area, District 7. And down at the end of this boulevard here, we'll find the Crescent Mall, the Crescent Lake Park, and the Starlight Bridge. We're passing by one of the first of many coffee shops along this walk. I find it fascinating how many coffee shops there are in Vietnam. Within this radius here of about 1 square kilometer, there are 2 Wayne's Coffees, 2 Coffee House Coffees, 2 Highlands Coffees, a Starbucks, a Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, and a Coffee. And then a handful of smaller independent shops, as well as many street side coffee stands. The Vietnamese love them some coffee. And it's strong too. If you've ever had the coffee extract at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf back home, it's like a coffee concentrate, and it's kind of chocolatey flavored. I believe they brew it with some cocoa powder in the coffee beans. We are coming up on Nguyen Van Linh Boulevard, a major artery that's part of this planned community that was here before, I believe, but was recently expanded to 10 lanes of traffic. To give you an idea of the volume of traffic that comes through here during rush hour, there are a lot of motorbikes in this part of the city at busy times of the day. I mean, it is like bananas with motorbikes. This giant entrance to the bridge over here, just across the way, looks like a part of Los Angeles to me. The neat rows of palm trees, super wide boulevard. Not many areas in Saigon look like this. So I don't mind living out here because of the space, even though it is about 15 or 25 minutes from downtown, from where I typically hang out with friends, depending on the traffic. But it's worth it for a little bit of peace and quiet. So here is the Crescent Mall. And as I mentioned before, it is just over 1.2 million square feet with 200 stores, everything from H&M to Hermes, and has a climbing wall, the Crescent Wall. Here's our next coffee shop, the Coffee Bean, adorned with the Lunar New Year cats. In China, it is the year of the rabbit. Here in Vietnam, it is the year of the cat. The difference is for one of two reasons. The Chinese word for rabbit sounds like a cat's meow, and that could be one reason for the discrepancy. Or just the Vietnamese reverence for cats and the Vietnamese history in agriculture and rice farming. Cats were a pretty handy tool for chasing mice away from the rice fields. And I believe out of the 15 zodiac signs for the Lunar New Year, there are 2 that are different between China and Vietnam. Anyway, year of the rabbit in China, year of the cat here in Vietnam. So you'll see a lot of those Japanese Nico cats with the mechanical arms waving at you. Those have been extremely popular this year. Here's another coffee shop, Signature by the Coffee House. So our second coffee house along this walk, and my personal favorite, just for the pre-written dick joke, fuck long. Coffee and Tea Express. Xin chào. Xin chào. Morning. There's our H&M. Inside of this mall, many Western brands. I think outside of the restaurants, most of the clothing stores are Western brands you'd find in a mall back in the States. The Gap, Fred Perry, Lacoste. They are very much into big brand names here in Vietnam. And this is kind of a recent development, I mean, recent history-wise. Pets, there's a pet park here, just outside of the mall. Although I should mention that you won't see a lot of stray dogs running around in Vietnam or Ho Chi Minh City. I was pleased to see stray dogs running around on the street when I visited Phu Quoc Island just recently. Not because I'm happy that the dogs are stray, I'm happy that they are both stray and still alive. There's an entire cottage industry here in Saigon in Vietnam where stray dogs get kidnapped and sold to a butcher shop So yeah, it's good to see pets becoming a thing here in Saigon. This is Crescent Lake. It's a man-made lake that's obviously a big centerpiece in this planned community. You can imagine the architects fawning over their man-made lake in their model of this city, maybe with toy boats or rubber duckies in it. On one side of the lake is the shopping center and apartment complexes, and on the other side, the park. You'll see that it's a fairly popular place for people to walk in the morning. Probably most of the people that are living in these new apartment buildings around here. The other thing about exercise, well, the thing about exercise in Vietnam in general, I'll try to catch someone. It's kind of funny. Most of the older generation somehow must have gotten stuck watching Jane Fonda tapes on a constant loop because they got up at like 5:30, 6 in the morning, and they just sort of like stand in place in a park pretending to walk or doing this for like 20 minutes straight. And they don't have them here, being that this is a new sort of westernized development, but in other parts of the city they have these exercise machines that offer no resistance at all. One of them is just like a tractor trailer steering wheel, and you just sort of spin it around. The other one is like a cross trainer, but again, no resistance. You just kind of like swing your legs. It's interesting, you know. I don't know how much of a workout it gives you. It's just sort of like doing a warm-up for minutes at a time. Anyway, if I see someone in the park, I will show that to you. Oh, I see someone now. He's way over there. 2 people. Too small to catch them on video, but if they're still at it when I approach, I will try to get them on candid camera. We are coming up on the Starlight Bridge, all part of this giant planned community development. As I said, a little corporate. I mean, standing here looking at the thing, it looks like one of those models the architects use when they're planning the project. It looks a little too planned, but preferable to living in a very congested, very dirty, very noisy city. And preferable to waking up 4 or 5 times a night to the crowing of roosters. That is a big deal here in Vietnam. You can see many people out here taking a nice morning walk. You don't see a lot of that in the other parts of the city. It's kind of pleasant out here, and I enjoy having a place just to walk in the morning. Have a little peace and quiet. Yeah, you can see them there. There's the Jane Fonda-esque workout that I mentioned. Just sort of a series of calisthenics like we used to do in gym class. And this here is this Starlight Bridge, which is nice because it's the only bridge I know of nearby that's just for walking and biking. No motorbikes, no car traffic. An entire mini city built around a lake where you can walk. I watched the video for this community, and interestingly, there were no Vietnamese people in it. It was just black and white Western people. So they're obviously trying to draw foreigners here. And there's a redheaded white guy walking towards me now. And I'm here, so I guess it worked. A lot of Korean people in this neighborhood as well. District 7 is becoming known as Koreatown. So many great Korean barbecue joints. There's a plus. And this is the park, Crescent Lake Park. In this park, our final destination today will be the Lotus Flower Garden in one of these mini lakes, which I have to say are pretty cool. Xin chào. One thing you'd notice right away coming to Vietnam is how pleasant the people are. Most people are super, super, super friendly here. Here we come up on these lotus gardens. Check this out. But still roosters. We're on the edge of the development here. I think the official community development ends at this boulevard. Although it's still a fairly upscale suburban neighborhood, and I hear the roosters. I will leave you with the pleasant sounds of Crescent Lake Park and the local roosters singing their morning song. Subscribe and stay tuned.